at 1:04. Do we have any agenda additions
None from administration, Mr. Chair.
from the board? Anything? I'll welcome a motion then. Thanks, Larry. All those in favor? And carried. Next up, minute approval from March 19th. Did anyone see any errors or omissions?
I'd move adoption of the minutes.
All right. Seeing no questions, all those in favor? And carried. We have one person online, so we'll start with introduction. Carly, if you want to kick us off.
Carly Tateson, Development Officer.
Michelle Hoover, Legislative Assistant.
Larry Clark, Board Member.
Alan Gano, Board Member.
Wade Hunter, Board Member.
Justin Stevens, good afternoon.
Janet Adam, Board Member.
Craig Teal, Director of Planning and Development.
Jared Kushner, Manager of IT. Rich Fitzgerald, Development Officer.
And online, we have Judy Hilker.
Yep. Hi.
Good afternoon. If the board's all right with it, we can jump to 6.1 and which staff member is taking this?
I will be. So Judy Hilker has submitted a development permit application for the construction of an ancillary building with an upper floor guest house, which will require a variance to be placed in the front yard and a variance to allow a balcony on an ancillary building. The building will be roughly 33 by 35 feet with a 10 by 33 foot balcony on the north side used for the access to the guest suite. Then can you go down to the first photograph, Jarrett, please? Thank you. The subject property is located in Buffalo Sands at 65 Buffalo Lane in the Resort Residential Community Service District. The surrounding properties are made up of residential uses with the county's municipal reserve along the back of the property. And then scroll down 2 pages, please, to the building design. Yep, that's right. Due to the location of the existing buildings on the property, the applicant is proposing the ancillary building in the front yard. The location of the garage is well within the front yard setback and will allow the applicant to be fully off the street when pulling in or out of the garage, not causing any traffic issues. There are also several instances in Buffalo Sands where the ancillary buildings are located in the front yard, so it's not uncommon in this subdivision. Balconies on ancillary buildings are not typically permitted. However, the proposed design matches the detached dwelling on the balcony, and the balcony will be used for only access to the guest house. There are no concerns related to privacy with this because the balcony will be facing the front yard and not onto the side yard looking directly into adjacent properties. Because of these reasons, the development should not interfere with the amenities of the neighborhood or affect the use and enjoyment or value of the neighboring properties. The administration recommends that the application DP 2612 be approved with conditions as detailed in the attached draft permit for an ancillary building with upper floor guest house with a balcony and a front yard variance.
All right. Any questions from the board? Go ahead.
Just a question on building codes when you have a residence above a garage. Is that's followed, that's pushed through our, like this is all through safety codes?
Okay. So the applicant will have to hire their own safety codes inspector since we're unaccredited. I'm not a safety codes inspector, so I can give you my understanding of the expectations. Whenever you combine a living space with a vehicle storage space, they will be looking for some sort of vapor or separation, largely due to fumes and the potential for carbon monoxide poisoning. So that very much is in the realm of safety codes. They'll follow up on that as required.
Thank you.
Just a little bit of backstory on this particular property. On the maps, it looks like it's a larger lot. Previously, there was some subdivision and consolidation. that's why this lot ended up larger than some of the other ones in the neighborhood. Hence why they have so much room for a ancillary garage. Any other questions from the board? Does the applicant wish to speak? Judy?
Hi, sorry, I had to try and unmute again here. I can answer any questions. We've attempted to make the ancillary building match the log design of the original cabin. So it looks the same. And the guest suite above is literally just a guest suite. It's bedrooms with a bathroom. And it's going to have a small wood stove just for heating. And it's going to be 100% electric. Underneath is going to be my husband's workshop. We do plan on retiring to this lot in the next few years. So this is where we're going to reside for hopefully at least 20 or 30 years. So we're trying to set this up for our golden years.
All right. Any other questions from the board? I'll welcome a motion then. Go ahead.
I'll make the motion to move it forward as per staff recommendations.
All right. I'll call the question. All those in favor? And carried. Thanks, Judy. Moving,
Okay, thank you so much.
moving
bye-bye.
on. We have 6.2, development permit 26016, page 22 of your package. Who will be taking this one?
I will be taking this one again as well. So Betty Parker has submitted a development permit application for the placement of a second detached dwelling on a parcel of land less than 80 acres. And we'll just go down to the first photo again, please, Jared. That's perfect. The subject property is located 6 kilometers south of Stettler at 38135 Range Road 20-1, sorry, in the agricultural district. Their property is, as you can see, a triangle shape surrounded by agricultural land across the road, and then the railway goes along the back of their property, and the railway actually owns that little piece on the north side of their property as well. Next page, Jared. Perfect. The building to be moved is a 20 by 26 foot, and they plan to build an addition, making the final dimensions 26 by 32. The applicant will finish the addition to match the existing building and is planning to replace the shingles. They'll be adding a 12 by 20 foot deck onto the front of the dwelling as well. Next page. Yeah, that's good there. The development will not be hidden from the sight line of the road. However, the property is separated from its closest residence to the north by about 355 feet of mature vegetation. This development is intended for Betty to live on her daughter and son-in-law's property. It meets the yard setbacks and doesn't require any variances, and it will not increase traffic on the road or affect neighboring properties. With that, the administration recommends that the permit application DP 26016 be approved with conditions as detailed in the attached draft permit.
All right. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, can I get a mover?
I'll move that we go with staff recommendations regarding DP 26016.
All right. All those in favor? And carried. Just finding my right spot in the agenda here. Next up, we have 7.1 subdivision 2026-02 on page 32. Who's taking this one?
That'll be me, Mr. Chair. I don't think we have the applicant may or may not be joining us online, but I don't see him here or in the lobby, so we'll assume they're not coming. If we can go to page 32, thank you. And if you could jump to page 38, please, Jared, for the sketch. Probably just have to adjust so we can see the entire quarter section on the screen there. We go. Okay. So the location of this application is just 800 meters north of Highway 601. And what is proposed is to take two additional pieces out of the quarter section, which are shown as the rectangle pink running east-west on the north and the odd shape parcel on the right-hand side of the orange shape in the middle or in the lower southwest corner of the quarter section. The intent is to take those pieces off the quarter section, then add them to a parcel that was created in 2007 to extend that parcel from a little over 9 acres to be a little bit over 12 acres. In part, this has been brought forward as an adjustment with some encroachments that were developed once the property was approved in 2007. The driveway to get a good location was a little bit north. There was an awkward little jog that you can see of the orange shape that goes up by the pink in the very right against Range Road 20-0. And unfortunately, that driveway was extended straight east outside the parcel boundaries of the 2007 parcel. In addition, along the east boundaries, some of the ancillary buildings went over the line. And so in the course of correcting this with the acreage owner, the applicant has also identified an expansion area to the east that you can see going behind the wetland. So that's what the nature of the proposal is. Those two individual pink pieces that you see on the sketch would not be standalone parcels. They would be blended to create the larger orange shaded parcel that you see on the sketch. And that's where we get the a little over 12 acres of land. So if we can jump to the conditions on page 35, please, Jared. So the existing access has good sight lines and brushing was suitable. So there's no conditions associated with that. And the remainder parcel has an existing farm access farther north on 20-0. The application to those two new parcels are the second and third parcel out of the quarter section. So they are subject to municipal reserve dedication. And the staff recommendation is that they be taken as cash in lieu. The applicant has agreed to our use of the $2,428 per acre value, and that's about 2.68 acres of land that would then be subject to that cash in lieu contribution, which is a little over $600 that you can see in the bottom of page, condition 4 on the page up on the screen, so $650.70. Do have a bit of a typo there on condition 4 for the acreage an extra decimal popped in, but we'll correct that in the final decision. The other conditions are fairly standard. It's get a surveyor to do up the plan. And then there is a line in there about making sure, even though it's their intent to consolidate, we want to very clear articulate that the expectation is those two pink areas are not standalone. They are added to the other 2007 parcel. And that's why condition number 2 is on the screen. There's no concerns with any area structure plans or statutory plans, and the sewage disposal is well within the boundaries of the 2007 parcel, given that's an in-ground field system, which has some pretty light, it's only about 15 feet setbacks from a property boundary. In terms of the Rural Development Fund, staff are recommending that the new pieces being added to the 2007 parcel, so the 2.68 acres of the two areas combined, minus the area that's wetland, be subject to the $1,000 per acre charge. So that gives us around 2.4 acres and around a $2,400 contribution to the Rural Development Fund. So with that, Mr. Chair, I'd be happy to field any questions.
Go ahead.
If you go back to that diagram, these
38.
shapes drive me crazy. Why, when we're adding the pieces like this, I know the wetland, we're kind of favoring the wetland on the right-hand side of the screen, but why doesn't that go all the way over and at least angle up in one swoop instead of a stair-step design there?
Just the choice of the applicant and how much land they wanted to give up to capture the encroachments.
I think we should be trying to square this stuff up as much as we can. It would become a very useless piece of property, that little jut in there, if that ever became water filled again. Just my thoughts, and it'll be the same every time we sit and see one of these that somebody looks like they drew with an Etch-a-Sketch.
I do have a question. We've been using this tool for a couple of years now, the road acquisition agreement. Do you have any feedback on what its performance has been? Have we seen any negative consequences of utilizing that?
No. We've also had no opportunity to actually trigger any in terms of major road projects. I probably would characterize it as mostly, well, it's hard to say that. If you don't know what the alternative was, which just for the rest of the panel, the alternative was road plans, which cost each applicant probably an extra $1,200 to $1,500 of survey costs. And then we took ownership of the road, but they continued to use the road, and we did move the fences back. So we went back to road acquisition agreements, and sometimes they stay on the property for many, many years, but they're there if and when we need them. And I think most people are, I don't get any pushback when we put that condition on, or they have to get them signed up, in part because that agreement is a standard template for us, and we're the ones that prepare it and give it to them for signing. So they don't face any legal charges for getting it prepared as well.
Fair enough. Any other questions from the board? Go ahead.
I'll move. The
Wait.
staff recommendation is 2026-02.
All right. Seeing no other hands, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And one opposed. Carried. Next up, we have, oh, I gotta find it on my,
Did we skip business arising?
oh. In the future, can I get a hard copy of the? Oh. Do we have any business arising from the minutes? I don't think so. All right, on to department report 8.1, page 53. Thanks, Michelle. Who's taking this one?
I will, Mr. Chair. So from March 11th to April 5th, as you can see, we're about 6 applications behind this year compared to the last year. But I've been getting a few inquiries regarding development in the last few weeks. And if we don't get any more snow as of this afternoon, I expect we start to see a steady increase in the next month when the weather warms up.
Okay, any questions or comments?
My last name's spelt wrong. There's
There-
no S
there-
on the end.
There's multiple of you.
Yeah,
It's just
Yeah.
plural.
yeah, apparently there's many of them.
Would you move the department report?
I will move to accept the department report.
All right. All those in favor? And carried. No new business, no old business. We do have a in-camera update. If I could get someone to move us in camera. Thanks, Larry. All those in favor? And carried. All right, next up, we have the next MPC meeting, May 20th, 2026. And only one motion left to make. Go ahead, Larry.
Motion for adjournment.
All right, all those in favor? And carried.
Take your spot.